In this video, we're going to talk about the air raid offense and everything that you need to know from a fundamental standpoint about the air raid offense. Whether you've run the offense for years or just getting introduced to the air raid offense, there's something new to learn in this video. So we're going to cover 5 different things about the air raid offense. And those 5 different things are the history of the air raid, why run the air raid offense, terminology. We're going to look at some base formations and some run as well as pass concepts within the air raid offense as well. Now, starting with the history of the air raid offense, it was started by 2 coaches, Mike Leach and Hal Mumme, when they were coaches at University of Kentucky. The story goes that they went down to Florida to a coach's clinic and they talked to a coach who ran an up-tempo style of 2-minute drill. And they both looked at each other and said, why can't we run this full time? And that was where the air raid began and the origin of the air raid began, where Mike Leach and Hal Mumme both decided they were going to run a full-time up-tempo offense to put the pressure on the defense to not only get out calls quickly, but be able to tire out the opponent and run as many plays as possible. As we're going to show later on in this video, how quick and efficient the play calling system is, as well as how easy it is for the quarterback to throw the ball all over the field. Now, as mentioned in the name itself, air raid, this type of offense is all about throwing the football downfield, and that's what Mike Leach and Hal Mumme has been able to do over the years, is launch these quarterbacks' careers where they're able to throw 40 to 50 to sometimes even 60 times a game to get the results that they want. Now, running the air raid offense is super efficient because of the point potential that you're able to put up. When throwing the ball 40 to 50 to even 60 times a game, you're able to obviously push the ball down the field. So you're getting chunk plays and you're getting balls thrown to your best athletes in space. So instead of just handing off the ball and hoping that 5 guys up front can block it efficiently, you're now just wanting decent to okay protection and then getting the ball to the outside or even through the middle of the field to your best athletes and let them go to work. So this offense is run by high schools, colleges, and even starting to leak into the NFL now because of how efficient it is in scoring points quickly. The other reason to run the air raid offense is because of how easy it is to learn and easy the communication it is from player to player. What you'll see and what we'll talk about in a little bit is the terminology, how it just is super simple communicated from sideline to coach. This is why we often see hand signals. We often see picture boards that are able to be relayed into the quarterback as well as the receivers, and a usually one word call that's echoed to the line of scrimmage so that way they can make the adjustments as well. Now we're going to take a look at the terminology in the air raid offense. And this terminology is unlike any other terminology that you'll see in these offensive videos that we do. This terminology is super simple, super easy, and it has a lot of flexibility to it by adding tags to the end of the play. So for instance, a play call that comes in from the air raid system, it's going to be a formation, and then it's going to be a number that's going to dictate the play. Now, this number can then have a tag at the end of it. So for instance, early 92 wheel. Okay, so that last word can be a variable to the play that's already set. So sometimes coaches can signal in 1 or 2 things, and that could mean early 92, and the play can run. Okay, so we're going to break down that play call right now. So early 92 is the play call that comes in. So what the first part of the term means, early, is going to be the formation. Okay, this is what is signaled in so the players can get lined up properly. Typically from the shotgun, okay? All air raid is predominantly operated out of the shotgun. So you're going to have 2x2 receivers, 3x1, empty sets, so on and so forth. But the first part early will be the formation, and then 92 is a mesh play. The 9 and the 2 both have relevancies of what they actually are. Some coaches have innovated where 9 would be the protection, 2 would be the play call. It varies from coach to coach, but the overall theme of the terminology of the air raid offense is to get a formation out and then use some short lingo to be able to relay the play as well as the protection to the quarterback. And then from here, everything's built in, okay? Your reads are built in. The protections, if it needs to be slid, are built in. Everything is built into the offense. That way the communication can happen as fast as possible and there is no lag in between plays. Because if you're an offense and you want to move as fast as possible, you need the communication to be as clear and as crisp as possible in order to move the ball downfield at a high rapid rate. Now we're going to start to dig into the run concepts of the air raid. And as the name says, there isn't many run concepts. We're trying to throw the ball in the air, okay? Hence the air raid. So one of the more common plays that teams run in the air raid is just inside zone. And that's because you can run different things with the inside zone scheme. It's super flexible. You're able to read the end and run read option off it. You can run RPOs off it. You can run swing screens off it. You can do a ton of things. So a lot of teams will just defer to running inside zone and even outside zone to keep it super basic. That way they're able to push the ball downfield. Again, it also allows coaches to master 1 or 2 or even 3 different schemes. That way they're not running 10 to 15 plays. They have inside zone, outside zone, and that's their run game. And then everything else is thrown through the air. Next, we're going to cover the pass concepts in the air raid offense. And the number one pass concept in the air raid offense is 4 verts, okay? Again, this is the most successful play that you can run by pushing the ball downfield. It's also the biggest chunk play that you can run in the air raid offense or any offense, whether it be just pushing the ball downfield as far as you possibly can. It also stresses the defense. And this is why a lot of defenses are running 2 high safeties, some to score a touchdown. So 4 verts is exactly how it sounds. It's 4 verticals. It's 4 receivers running straight down the field. And the quarterback can even throw a touch pass to this, or it can be a pass that he hammers in there and tries to rifle it in there through the defense. It's extremely hard to stop because through zone coverages, quarterbacks can throw a laser in there to try to cut the zone coverage. Or if you're playing man coverage, you can beat it up over the top on the outsides or even on the insides as well. The next pass concept, which is very familiar to the air raid offense, is the mesh concept. And this concept is all they're trying to do is they're trying to mesh, okay? And that's where the term comes from, at the same point. So if you see here, the player is going to be crossing at the middle, what a lot of people call the high five point. And this is the point in the middle where they're close enough where they can high five. And what happens is the 2 receivers run close enough that they naturally pick the player that's chasing them. That way one of them gets open. Okay, this is one of the staple plays of the air raid offense. It's run frequently from 3x1, from 2x2. This play you can run however you want to run it. And there's also tags and variations that you can run off this as well. We're not going to get into those. We'll actually link a video above where we covered the mesh route concept. Also the Chip Kelly mesh variation that he runs a ton over at UCLA currently, but also when he was with the Philadelphia Eagles and Oregon. But the basis of the mesh concept is to clear out the outside defenders, whether it be corners or linebackers, and then get those underneath defenders at that mesh point so they're crossing. That way they can get the ball into the flat and turn up upfield. The tags that coaches insert will be able to beat zone coverage, but this is predominantly a man coverage beater because you're forcing a defensive back or a linebacker to run all the way across the field with typically a speedier receiver. The third and final passing concept is the stick concept. And this concept's nice and easy. This is usually a day 1 install for most air raid teams. And essentially all it is a hitch route from number 3, an out route from number 2, and a go route from number 1. And all they're trying to do is to stress that linebacker, especially teams that run 2 high systems. Because a lot of teams put that extra, whether it be nickel back, jack back, or whatever you want to call it, out on number 2, you're going to stress that inside linebacker because he has to decide, do I want to commit to the run or do I need to push out to the pass? So a lot of teams have created RPO situations where it puts that linebacker in conflict. But this simple stick concept where one player is going to sit down and one player is going to drag that outside linebacker to the out route, that way they can create some separation and some space for an easy catch and throw. So again, this stick concept can be run out of 3x1. It can be run out of 2x2 where a player leaks out of the backfield. It can be run in different instances, but most of the time it's run out of a 3x1 set. Also, we created a video with all of these offenses and all the history of all the offense compiled into one video. Single wing, West Coast, air raid, triple option, and run and shoot. So be sure to check that out. We're going to link it above right here. We're also going to link it in the description below. Be sure to check that out. It's a whole deep dive into the history of how those offenses came to be. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.